Hey guys, Mr.BeetleBum here, and today's video is about the what's going on right now in World of Tanks. They're about to launch a sandbox again as of tomorrow, and this sandbox, is going to be testing all about equipment. They're going to be changing, or at least we're hearing that they're going to be changing equipment. They're basically saying, as you can read here in the article, they're saying that right now they think it's very boring. They say that most players use rammer, vents, and gun lane drive. Apparently, that one combination seems to be in every tank playing, according to World of Tanks. And I have to think that they're right. I mean, it's their game. They can track everything. It kind of blows me away because, I don't do that at all. Maybe on some tanks, but actually I got quite some weird combinations. But hey, that's me just trying different things out and whatnot. But they're basically saying that there's a limited variety right now, and they feel like as game designers they need to make it better. And I agree. I do agree. I have no problem with this if it happens, because remember guys, this is just a sandbox right now, so they're testing it out. But I have no problem with them changing over the equipment and doing new things and trying to get a little bit of pizzazz put into the game. I wouldn't call it pizzazz, but you know what I mean. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. I've actually always kind of thought that it's a little boring, and it's too bad that you couldn't find a way to make equipment. And this isn't in this game. This isn't in this. It's a little bit what they're doing, but not quite to what I'm about to say. Like 4 years ago, I believe, I put up something in the forums as a suggestion as, make it so that you can make your equipment better, but make it something that you have to do in order to make it better. I was actually alluding to, make it something that you have to do a lot of stuff in order to get, meaning do a lot of missions. And at that end of the mission, instead of getting a free tank, at the end of the chain or whatever, make it so that, your gun rammer will be plus 3%, something big, something like that. And it's kind of funny because with the bounty equipment they kind of did do that. Instead of missions, a chain of missions to get something, they just made it so that you had to pay money to upgrade it so that it's got a little bit of a bonus. Well, they're going to be doing that or at least they're thinking of doing that coming up. But yet, instead of a mission chain, or instead of paying, what it is they're talking about making slots for different characteristics of different equipment. Meaning some of the equipment is good for survivability, some is good for mobility, some is good for damage. So what they're thinking is they're actually going to have slots for each one. And if you put a piece of equipment into a slot that fits that type of equipment, meaning I should just read this and see what it was, but I'm just thinking a rammer that's going to increase firepower, right? Because it's making you shoot your shells faster, so that's going to increase firepower. So if you put a rammer into the firepower slot, it's going to give you a bonus on top of that, just because you're picking the right slot, I guess. There's also going to be some new equipment coming out too. They've kind of revamped the old equipment, and they're bringing out a whole whack load of new equipment. And that's why I say this is good, I hope it does go through. I might jump on the sandbox tomorrow when it starts, just to check it out, just to try a couple combinations that I'm already thinking about. For example, one thing that I've always known or thought about when I play World of Tanks is when you're a sniper, whether it be you're in a tank destroyer in a bush, or if you're maybe you're a light tank and you're sniping quite a bit. Anyways, in either role, whenever you snipe, there's always those times we want to be able to double bush every time. But there's times where you have to fire on your enemy where you know you're not double bush and you know you're going to get lit. So, of course, you focus in, you find your weak spot, you shoot, and you back up instantly. The problem is that a lot of tank destroyers don't have the best reverse speed. Actually, pretty bad. Other than the what's the tank that goes backward? The British tank destroyer that goes backwards. Anyways, so when I saw that they're bringing out equipment to up your reverse speed, not both. You have to get one for forward speed, like it increases your top speed, and another one is just faster reverse. And I just thought, wow, that's pretty cool, man. I like the idea of the reverse one. Am I going to use it all the time? On tank destroyers? I don't know. Probably not. I'm probably I think I'm going to jump on and try it out and see what it's like, because I do believe it's only 2%, 2% and 3%, meaning 2% normal and then 3% if it's in the right slot. But either way, it's something that you got to admit, that's kind of cool, it's something different. It's allowing us to play a tank a different way than the norm, that kind of thing. So anyways, let's get into this. Let's take a look at what they say here. What do we want to do? Simplify the choice of use of equipment, increase the diversity, basically what we're just talking about, and make equipment cost more affordable. I do love this part right here. What they're talking about, you guys can just read this as I'm talking. What I really like, because I've always said, look, there's just too much seal clubbing going on. And it kind of goes in like this, You'll have some months where all of a sudden everyone's seal clubbing, and then you'll have months where there's no action at all. Maybe they're off doing other things or whatever. Or there's an event on yada, yada, yada. But anyways, I've always thought it would be great if they could just I remember when sorry, let me just back up. I remember watching a video that Quickie Baby did once on his ideas to the game, and I remember he said make the equipment cheaper or give free equipment on tier 1, 2s, and 3s. So that everybody has binocs, everybody has camo. And I always thought that doesn't make sense. That's just not going to do it. I mean, it's just too much of a pain in the butt for them to do that anyways. Wargaming, that is. Because, then what? Yeah, the binocs are only good on those tanks because it was free and you can't use it on any other tanks. You're going to have binocs that can't be transferred. You're going to have binocs that can be transferred. And it's just going to be a messy situation. So kudos to whoever brought this in and, thought it up. Because what they're doing here, as you can see on the diagram, is on tier 1, you just get one equipment and one consumable. That's it. You're very, very, very limited. So in that's tier 2. Tier 3, as you see, you're getting 2. Tier 4, you get your normal 3, but there's no directives. And then tier 5 through 10, it's wide open, have at it, just the usual as we know it right now. 3 equipment slots, 3 consumable slots, and then your 1 directive slot. So you say, well, that's not a big deal. Well, yeah, it is, man. That means at tier 3, you're going to have to pick either, what 2 things you want, but it's going to lack people coming in. If the new players that don't have credits to buy things, even though, like I say in all my videos about starting a new account, you can get free stuff with it. It's very easy to get a lot of free stuff. But anyways, we're not going to go there. That's a different video. The reality is a lot of players don't have enough credits, and they say, well, I don't have equipment and stuff. That way, they're not going to be up against guys who are playing with, of course, they got their 5 crew skills on each crew member, but they're not going to be able to load up on all the equipment. So I do like that. I think it's good. It's not really a big deal, but it doesn't quite level the playing field, completely. But I've never been one for a level playing field. I don't think that's completely right either. I don't think that's the way to do it. I think there's nothing wrong with having, if you've played, 60,000 games, and if you want to go down into tier 3 and tier 4 to play it, have at it, man. I don't think you should be, you know, stripped of everything because you've been playing a long time. Yes, you're going to be better. Yes, even without all the stuff, you're going to be able to do better because you know the game better. I don't think you should strip down completely, but I really do like the fact that they're evening it out a little bit. And there's other ways to even it out too. But again, that will be a different video. Yeah, so here's the four different. It's talking about the four different categories, as we mentioned: firepower, survivability, mobility, and scouting. Now, I gotta say, like, the one thing that I'm noticing in this is if you're like me and your favorite class to play is tank destroyers. Yeah, I don't want to say left out or forgotten or anything. They're there. It's just that it seems like a lot of the new stuff is geared more to lights, as we're gonna find out, or you'll find out as you go through it. But anyways, they're talking about how the improved equipment, how your current bonus is 7.5, then it goes up to 8.5 for the venting system. What they're talking about here is that they're putting up the base bonuses to quite a bit of the improved equipment. And then on top of that, let me just scooch down here first, because what they're doing is additional bonuses to existing equipment. Basically for wet ammo rack, fill the CO2 tanks, and the cyclone filter. These are all basically the same thing. What it's saying is once that module gets to 0 HP, instead of, like if you have a wet ammo rack, if that gets to 0, you're gonna have a chance of getting an ammo rack. What it's saying is what they're gonna do now is make it so whenever it hits 0 HP, it's automatically gonna recover 1 hit point. 1 hit point, man, just so that it won't detonate. Okay. Excuse me, sorry. It also provides a greater current bonus and a lower debuff for the damage ammo racks, meaning you're not going to get as much damage and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is it's just a little tweak. That's kind of nice because it can only happen once during the battle, I believe, for all of them. But it is nice, a little addition that they've thrown on to the ones we already have. Enhanced suspension. It's kind of nice. What does it say? Is your suspension repaired from its destroyed state? It'll be repaired to full hit points. Also provides greater current bonus, lower chance of fire, lower debuff from damaged engine, yada yada yada. Here's one that I kind of like though, guys. Look at the bottom there. The additional, look over that way. Additional grousers, the tracks. Increases hull rotation by 7.5% on all terrain. Increases acceleration by 7.5% on all terrain. And this is from tier 2 up to tier 10. I don't know if anybody's ever bought those before, but just for rotation speed, the hull, not the turret, the hull, so it can be used on everything. It just makes you turn faster. How many times do we talk about how good it is to get that cruise skill for when you can turn your hull faster, your traverse speed, make it better? I'm gonna be very curious. I'm gonna watch this because I'm gonna be very curious if that one makes it, because that's a big percentage. 7.5 rotation speed and 7.5% acceleration. I think that's more than the forward speed one actually does, which we'll take a look right here. Survive mobility. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, here it is. This is a better way to look at it. What this is talking about, guys, and there's no problem. Go look at this. It's good information. But they're separating it in firepower, survivability, mobility, and scouting. And it's showing you what you're going to get for your percentages. Okay, and again, remember, you got your regular percentage and then your bonus. What is the bonus? The bonus, remember, is putting it in the right slot. That's all it is. Select equipment and category tab to see more details about the effect and cost of certain equipment and the equipment description. The first value is the standard effect, and the second value is the increased effect when the equipment and slot categories match. Remember earlier I had said that they're splitting the slots up into categories, which, by the way, there's 3 slots and there's 4, 3, 3. Not sure how that's going to work. Maybe one slot's going to be 2 of them or something, because that doesn't really make sense. But anyways, the point is that the second number, which is highlighted, that's if you put it in the right slot. And some of the stuff has increased a significant amount. Plus, they've also brought out new things like the low noise exhaust system. Increases vehicle concealment. Yeah! Tank destroyer, tank destroyer. Stuff like that. But anyways, let's go down to the things. And this is all the new equipment right here, okay? And this is just going to be not the extra number, because it's in the right slot. Additional forward transmission plus 5% to top speed. Here's the one I was talking about. Additional reverse transmission plus 3% to reverse speed. Now, notice that's 5%, and the additional grousers are 7.5% acceleration. So I'm not really sure exactly how that's going to work out. I'm going to have to try it out and see. But it's interesting that this one's even more than this, and this is the new, piece of equipment that's coming out. Commander's vision system, -10 to concealment of enemy vehicles behind foliage. I don't like that one. Yeah, I don't like that one at all. I don't understand how it's -10% to concealment of enemy vehicles. Stop right there. That makes sense. But then it says behind foliage. So it's only going to be when you're behind trees and bushes and stuff. I just don't see. I'd be very interested in what the code is. What is the code? They're taking concealment out of a bush? If you have that, so that means bushes are basically useless, because that's about the same number. And there is no more explanation than this, guys. So please don't inundate me with, well, no, it's this, or no, it's that. Although you guys are really good that way. It's always in the stream that everybody might as well work for Wargaming, because they all know what's going on, apparently. Anyway, so we don't really know exactly what that means, but that one's a little... for me, because of my background in gaming and coding and stuff, and just kind of look at that and go, what exactly are we doing with this one? So it's kind of a little vague for me right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to like that one. Experimental powder increases tank concealment after firing by 10%. Again, we're talking about a tank destroyer is in a bush and it shoots, right? And the bush disappears. Now it's saying increase tank concealment after firing. Or maybe it's even in the open too. The reality, although your concealment number obviously goes down when you're moving and also after shooting. So what they're saying with this is you're going to be able to, increase the concealment number. So that dip that it takes won't be as bad, but it's only going to go back up by 10%. Gun traverse amplifier increases turret traverse speed if the vehicle has a turret by 20%. Please don't put that on a tank that doesn't have a turret, but that is kind of nice. 20%. Improved aiming unit reduces gun dispersion by 5%. A lot of people ask about tanks and which tanks have the best accuracy. Well, a lot of it comes down to gun dispersion, because it really isn't an accuracy stat. It's not a hard stat. So I think this is one, when I read it, I'm thinking that might get used quite a bit here. And this is what I like about this. They're really picking different things for you to focus on and in your own play style. And I think this one might get used a lot for sniping and that kind of stuff, because there are some tanks that are really good, but they don't really have that great of accuracy. So every little bit could help. Improved consumables, reduces the consumable cooldown by 30 seconds. I guess I should just be pointing to which one I'm reading. Improved hardening, interesting. A little shell around a tank there. Increases the tank hit points by 5%. Interesting. I mean, it's only available to tank destroyers, mediums, and heavy tanks. I don't really know why they would limit it. If I'm in an arty and I want to have more hit points, let me waste a space for that if I want to. I don't understand that. But anyways, whatever. Doesn't matter. Improved main transmission increases turning speed on the move by 12%. So it's not quite the same as a turret traverse one, but I'm assuming it's the hull that's turning here, or we're just talking as you're driving, because it's on the move. But yeah, so I guess it's gonna just let you turn faster into it. I don't know, man. Um, Anyways, improved radio set increases enemy spotting time by 2 seconds. Sorry, spotting. It says enemy spotting, but you know what I mean. You'll be able to spot the enemy 2 seconds faster. Improved rotation mechanism reduces the effect of hull rotation on gun dispersion by 15%. Improved tank helmets reduces stun time by 25%, the negative stun effect by 30%, and the second stun time by 25%. So if you're concerned about getting hit by Artie all the time, put on a helmet, man, and you don't have to worry about it. If you got that problem. The reason why I'm laughing is because you're gonna put a helmet on, look like Oswald, the streamer, who's hilarious. But anyways, and yeah, you're gonna get less stun times, but you're gonna get blown away anyways. If an Artie is really hounding you that much that you're thinking of putting that on, dude, you're dead anyways. Anyways, jamming device reduces player spotting time by 2 seconds. I don't know. Again, this one could be okay. It's like you have to get this to counter the commander's vision system. You know what I mean? All the lights are going to be wearing the commander's vision, and then all of us tank destroyers will be wearing a jamming device, so it just, basically, does it knock each other out? Well, no, this is by concealment, percentage of concealment, and this is just by, reduces player spotting time by 2 seconds. Anywho, low noise exhaust system, this is one I talked about earlier, increases the concealment of a vehicle, both stationary and moving. So it doesn't say how much. Did it say how much up here? Yeah, plus 6%. Okay, see, here you go. I don't even understand. This would be perfect for a tank destroyer, but yet it's only for heavies, mediums, and lights. You guys get that? Look at this. Increase the concealment of a vehicle, both stationary and moving. And they're putting it on lights, totally makes sense, medium, and heavy. What freaking heavy is concerned with concealment? I mean, sure, I put camo skins on everything, but that's just because I just like the way it looks, right? This is what puzzles me. It's like a lot of these would be great for tank destroyers, but yet they're not able to use them. And it really doesn't make any sense that any of this crap should be allocated just to it. Should all say this right here. See, improved tank helmets, all tier 5 to 10 vehicles. That's it. I don't understand why they're putting these on here. They say they want to make it customizable, and they want a variety. And then at the next, and then they say that, and then in the next sentence they tell us that equipment is only allocated for certain tanks based on what equipment you're looking at. It's just counterproductive to what you just said before. But anyways, we're going to go on. Module protection increases hit points of all modules, internal and external, by 30%. Panoramic triplex. I don't know where I guess you put that inside the tank, because basically it's like three big ass screens. Reduces the concealment of moving vehicles upon spotting by 7.5%. Again, reduces the concealment of moving enemy vehicles upon spotting. So in other words, I don't understand why you get this one. You have a light, you have a tank destroyer, you have any tank that's in a bush sniping, and then you're trying to find it, and all of a sudden, blip! There you go, you lit them up. Well, now it's gonna drop his concealment numbers by 7.5. I don't get it. I guess in a scout it would make sense, because he's, and the reason why I say I don't get it is because he's spotted, he's lit. Why do we need to drop his numbers anymore? He's already lit. With a light tank now with passive concealment, what that would mean is if you drop his numbers, it means you're going to see him a little bit longer. Before, you know how you light up I'm sure we've all been there before. You're playing whatever tank, and there's a light tank that has passive concealment, and you light him up, and then he runs away, and everyone's shooting at him, and all of a sudden, bloop, he's gone. He just fades away, and everyone, yeah, all the new players or players that are, whatever, the new player guys, they're yelling, hack, cheater, and all this. But no, it's just he's got passive concealment. His numbers are going to kick in faster. So I do understand that would lower his numbers. So with a light tank, it would work. That you'd be able to see him longer. But I just don't understand why that's something that's going to be a big one. And why is it only good for lights and mediums? That's just, I guess maybe because they're the ones that are looking for the enemy scouts, I guess. Anyways, finally, turbocharger increases engine power by 10%. So there you go, man. It's very interesting. The other thing here, it's good to know about the price. I do like the fact that they're changing it a little bit. It's already been different prices. They're trying to make the equipment that has, like 3 or 4 or 5 different versions of the same thing, depending on what tank you're playing, what tier you're playing. They're trying to make it a little bit more easy to understand. I mean, I don't understand why they have 5 different versions. I think it's the stabilizer or something, but I also don't care. I don't really see why this is really an issue. I don't know. No one's come up to me and said, "Hey, man, Mr.BeetleBum, I don't get it. Why is there 5 different versions of these pieces of equipment?" Right? It's like, who really cares? Just put it on your tank. Whichever one fits your tank, that's what you're going to put on. But for some reason, they want to make it a little bit more, I don't know, explained, I guess. So if you read there's class 3, and it goes backwards. Class 3 is low tier. High tier is class 1. I guess it depends how you look at things. But anyways, so in other words, tier 2 through tier 4, you're going to be in class 3, right? And then tier 5 through 7, you're going to be in class 2. And then, of course, tier 8 through 10, you're going to be class 1. Dun, 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 dun. Anyways, the price goes up too, as you can see there on the screen. It's 50,000, then 300,000, and then it doubles. I like that. You go from 50 to 300, and then from 300 to 600. It's like, double it up, baby. No, but I mean, it totally makes sense though. From tier 8, you're making so much more credits that it just makes sense, And they're trying to make it so that it's easier for lower tiers to get the equipment at a better price, that kind of thing. I think they've always had that already, but what they're doing here is they're saying that they're definitely dropping it. I mean, 50,000 is pretty cheap for stuff, so hopefully it keeps going like that. And that's about it. It's telling you how to associate equipment with vehicle types and all that kind of stuff. Yada yada yada. By all means, read it. Jump on the sandbox if you actually want to try it out. I mean, but it's funny. A lot of the stuff they said here is true, and it is really high time that they finally got around to doing this. I'm hoping that they work out the kinks on some of these. I hope they might even drop a couple, or maybe drop something and take that stat and add it to so there's 2 stats on something else, because some of them are kind of like not even making sense right now, and kind of like just crossing another one out, countering another one or whatever. And they could reduce the amount and just make it, I don't know, more sensible, that kind of thing. But we'll have to see what happens, guys. You never know. But I do like the personalized thing, because honestly, I feel like I'm one of the few people who uses things other than the norm. People always ask me, why do you use that? Why don't you have this? And here's the thing, guys. I stream. For those who don't know, who's watching this, because this is on YouTube, and for those who don't know, I stream on Twitch all the time to help players, answer questions, all that stuff. But anyways, on Twitch, you get people out in the chat constantly, asking questions, which is great. That's why we're there. But then there's also the people who want to teach you. And this is one thing, guys. Let's just try to spread this around somehow. I'm laughing because I know it's not going to change anything, but it's the people, the players who come in and say, "Hey man, why aren't you using a rammer? You're supposed to be using a gun rammer, man. Gun rammer events and take your pick of whatever the other one is, and a gun lane drive, dude. That's the right way to do it." And I'm like, well, and I have to come out with an explanation as to why I'm using what I'm using. Okay, here's the reality, guys. there is no right one only way to do things. Okay, you could win an argument on it's pretty limited, the tanks, but you could win an argument on, these are the most common sense items to use, or that will give you the maximum amount of, like, just one stat, like your damage or stat or something. But the reality is we're all different. We all play different ways. Like, in other words, way back when I played the mouse and I had the spall liner on there, I was having people actually trying to tell me then I shouldn't have a spall liner on there, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That's a bad one, I guess, because that was a real silly argument. But it's still, the fact that people will be telling you, no, don't use that. I've tried things on my tanks all the time, like throughout the years. I've tried all kinds of crazy combinations just to see what happens, because they do have benefits. And also, sometimes I want a very specific thing to be figured out. Like I said, the reverse. That's why I'm kind of interested in this stuff, man. All these things they're bringing out. Are we going to be able to, build a super scout, with crazy ability of scouting, but, maybe not quite as good as other stuff? I don't know, man. We'll find out. But anyways, I'm excited about it, guys. I know it's gone pretty long, this video. So where is it? How long? Whoa, yeah, way too long. So anyways, let's end this. And guys, I'll be streaming again tonight, and I stream a lot. If you want to watch videos, check out my YouTube channel, and like or dislike. Either way, it's cool. Set up notifications for when the next video comes out. And if you have any questions for me, just come on over to Twitch and ask during a stream, or even leave it here in the comments. Either way, I'm Mr. BeetleBum, and I'm now out.